Hello and welcome back to Crash 3 Warped on the Sane Trilogy. And in this part, we're getting even more time relics. I mean like a lot, like lots and lots of time relics.
But we're not going into deep trouble.
We're not doing deep trouble just yet. I have bad associations with deep trouble. My psychosis demands that I take a path of lesser resistance. It's high time we got another time relic.
Indeed.
Wink.
So how long do you think Crash would survive in ancient Egypt?
Pretty decently long time. I mean, I can't
Apparently not.
I can't say about his taste for barbecue, but I know he likes fruit. Maybe he would scurry along to a little desert oasis where he might find a tree that grows lemons.
Are lemon trees actually able to survive in the desert?
I mean, anything can survive in the desert. It just needs water and I think that's about it. Just water and a lot of time.
No, because there are plenty of plants that just straight up cannot survive in various temperate zones. Like, for example, a tropical cacti cannot survive in coniferous rainforests.
Right, because the irrigation schedule is a little different. Cacti depend on not getting a lot of water because they can store it inside their bodies, which are extremely tough and impervious both to parasites and just weathering, what have you, that would cause it to lose water. If it gets overwatered, then it wilts and dies.
Plants are a strange science.
Yeah. You know, it took me the longest time to realize how a tree grows. It's carbon. Trees. All that trees do is they take carbon out of the air and they make it themselves. Like, because you might wonder, well, where does it go? It's there. That's why the tree grows. And that's why burning firewood is a good source of heat, because the bonds that seal the carbon into the wood release a lot of energy when they're broken.
Right. And sadly, we only got a sapphire relic for high time.
Well, it's high time that we got a little challenges out of the way. We got all the easy relics. We got the Gee Whiz. We got the double header. We also got the third and very first level that also uses the medieval theme, and are all extremely easy because they're basically corridors with no variants. But now we're getting into the levels that are not so fun. The ones that make you wonder, no, it can't be. Woo, Tomb Raider.
Well, honestly, Tomb Raider's not that bad.
Tomb Raider just makes you wait. And it's okay that it makes you wait at times, because the people on whom these relic times depended also waited.
I don't know. I think several of them just end up using a debug fly code at normal running speed in order to figure out what the optimum time is.
Yeah, well, would they though? Because, I mean, I could see maybe for learning purposes, but definitely not for execution.
Because if you think about it, the most efficient way to go through these levels specifically is by avoiding enemy encounters and taking as many straight lines as you can. Or rather, as few straight lines as you can.
Well, Gerda, if you have debug mode, all you have to do is have a pre-selected direction based on where the endpoint is and just run there. You run through the walls, you run through the empty space.
No. I'm not saying that they use no-clip. I'm saying they used fly. Fly and no-clip are two totally different codes.
Oh, gotcha. So, if there was a pit, then they wouldn't fall into it?
Right.
Oh. But, well, okay, but what about other hazards?
Now, like, for this particular hazard here, what they would end up doing is just flying directly into the door, and they might have to wait for the water to rise, but no, they still would have to actually spin the gear with them.
Yeah, I was gonna say is that you would need God mode, because if you could survive the drowning, then you would get the lever. Well, I think nothing makes the job simpler than just putting on the player's controls and giving it your best shot. I mean, I can see that they would use the tools at their disposal to at least maybe eliminate a few impossibles, let's say. But in terms of actually like doing it, I'm sure these guys were ready for the challenge.
Well, they had better be. They designed the game.
They designed the game. Hey, Miyamoto can't play his own games.
That's not true.
He's never beaten Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, Miyamoto can't finish Sunshine at 100%, but he can play most of it.
Most of it. Gold relic. Ching.
And the whole reason Miyamoto can't finish Sunshine is due to the 7th and 8th missions at the end of each world, because those end up being a bit bullshit difficult.
Yeah, Shadow Mario was never that hard. You kind of gotta. He behaves a certain way in every level, but once you learn his patterns, you can get him.
Bug light, but we already have the gold relic there.
Yeah, gold relic. Okay, one of these levels.
The flaming passion.
The flaming passion. The gauntlet of 1,000 pits.
Not many. Not nearly that many. It's closer to like what, 13?
13. 1, 2.
No. That counts as one pit. Come on.
With a platform in between?
Yes, because it's the same pit. It is the same pit, just separated by a small platform.
All right, so we've encountered only 4. Okay, so this is just one big pit right here.
Admittedly, now that I have to actually qualify what is and is not a pit, perhaps it is not up to me to decide that.
I think the platforms mark where the pit stops and where it begins.
But I don't like doing that particular transition, because that would mean that each of the far sides of this platforming challenge here count as pits, and I don't think that those actually count. Or rather, I specifically would not count them.
Fucking grubs. Do not go into the bonus room. You would be foolish to do that while doing a time relic. Although it would be really interesting if you still got the relic anyway.
I'm pretty sure you can still get Sapphire if you go into a bonus, although I'm pretty sure the bonus rooms are actually disabled during the relic challenges.
Oh, wait, that's right. They are disabled.
It's the death
if you jump on the platform,
disabled.
If you jump on the platform, nothing happens. It just treats it as though you've already done it.
Squeaky shoes.
I think that was me jump cutting from a failed attempt at Orange Asphalt. And after having failed Orange Asphalt because that level sucks, so let's go to Gone Tomorrow. Here today. Gone tomorrow.
So can you think of any alternative rock songs that actually use the title Gone Tomorrow?
Nah. From yesterday comes tomorrow.
No, that's not actually how time works. I mean, from yesterday goes into today, and then from today comes tomorrow.
James Bond theme from Tomorrow Never Dies.
I don't know the James Bond themes from Tomorrow Never Dies. In fact, I don't know any of the James Bond themes. I know that they're usually named after the movie that they appear in, but that's about it.
The world is not enough. But it is such a perfect place to start, my love. And if you're strong enough, together we can take the world apart, my love.
I still have never actually seen. Actually, I think I might have seen World Is Not Enough, but I specifically don't remember anything about it.
It was not Pierce Brosnan's best movie. GoldenEye, unfortunately, was Pierce Brosnan's best movie, and I say unfortunately because it was the very first one that he starred in. He was going downhill ever since.
I've never actually seen all of GoldenEye either. I just know it ends in a space station.
So which James Bond movies have you seen?
Actually, I don't think I've fully seen any James Bond movies. I mean, I know I'm supposed to have fully seen Goldfinger, but like Goldfinger is the only one that I could honestly say I know anything about. It's not because I've seen it; it's because I've seen plus summaries for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I'd like to think I know just about how that movie goes. That like it kind of makes James Bond more like a person. I've seen. Oh God, I've seen a bunch of James Bond movies. Let me see if I can start from the more obscure ones and work my way in. I saw bits and pieces of Octopussy, Moonraker, Goldfinger, Dr. No, Diamonds Are Forever, and then working my way to the more notable ones. I did see pretty much all the Pierce Brosnan movies. Casino and Casino Royale, I think is about it. So it's probably about 10 James Bond films. My first one, of course, was The World Is Not Enough, which I thought was very, very violent and scary for a 9-year-old.
I don't know. I think that's the one where they're in the Swiss Alps, right?
They're in the Swiss Alps for when the terrorists attacked. Yeah.
Okay. Which one is the one where they open with the game of I believe it's blackjack that they're actually playing, and the one I'm thinking of.
At the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
Were they playing blackjack near the? I mean, GoldenEye. There's a Baccarat scene around the 15-minute mark, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty close to the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
We hope that you stay on the top of things. That's right, because James Bond was notorious for the puns. And it got worse as the movies went on, to the point where James Bond gets punched in the gut, and the guy who punched him says, "How's that for a punchline?"
Which is a terrible joke.
It is an atrocious joke, actually. Not that Crash Bandicoot does much better.
That's actually very true. I mean, Twinsanity, the vehicle segment for that Twinsanity tries to justify is Cortex is leaning over a precipice and Crash just tackles him down, and then they turn into a snowball. That's the justification for that, and it's very easy to make a sex joke about that scene.
I would think of it more like that cartoon, like Pummel Cloud, where like it's just arms and fists, like, getting momentum outside the cloud and then bringing it in to punch the other guy. But you can't see what's happening.
Except Cortex isn't actively fighting Crash for most of the trip.
They are just enjoying the warmth of each other's embrace.
I wouldn't say enjoying. I would say tolerating.
And in the next part, we're going to Midnight Run. Ow.
Yay! Finally!